Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with ddstamps.com, and today I'm here to show you a card that I made with the Thoughtful Branches stamp set from Stampin' Up. It's this one here. It is only available until the end of August, or until supplies last, so if you want it, you better get it now. Or, and it may show up eventually down the road, but at this point it is only while supplies last. And also these thinlits that go with it, you can get these separately or you can get them as a bundle and save 10%. But this is a really fun set to play with. I've had a lot of fun today and I just wanted to share a couple of ideas with you. So on this particular video I'm going to show you how I did this technique, and as you can see it's going to be the same technique. I just changed some of them into flowers, some of them into trees. And what I liked about this is that, number one, hydrangeas can be any color. If you Google that, you will find Google images of hydrangeas and you will see that they're many colors, so any color would work. And as far as I'm concerned, when you're stamping, your trees can be any color that you choose them to be. So I am going to be using Pool Party today, Pool Party cardstock. This is a piece of Whisper White. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and that's going to be my card base that I put my card on. And then I've got two other pieces. This is a piece of Pool Party. It's going to be a layer on there, and this one is 4 by 5 1/4. And then this third piece of white, Whisper White, I just cut down 1/8 of an inch, so it just gives a real thin border on there of that color. And I will put those measurements up on my website with a link up there that you can click on to get to. So to begin with, I'm going to go ahead and use the thinlet. I'm going to use this one to begin with. This is actually the tree, the leaves of the tree, or the leaves of the hydrangea, and I am just going to cut some cardstock. So I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, and I just have a scrap of paper here, and I am using my new platform, the Precision Plate, then a piece of cardstock, and this is Pool Party. You'll see this has a little arrow on it when you're matching up the stamps with the framelit. That comes in handy. We're not going to do that right now though. We're just going to go ahead and cut this out. And when I'm cutting out my thinlits, I like to go forward and then backward, so it goes through twice. And hopefully we get a real good cut with that. We should. Take this out of the way. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pop this out of there. And I'm going to go ahead and use a die brush. And I actually put my die brush and my mat inside of a plastic stamp case. And that just kind of contains all those little tiny pieces of paper. That die brush makes this easy to come out. And most of those little pieces come out. There are just a couple that you have to punch out, but they, as you can see, they come out fairly easily. I actually cut 2 of these out for this particular card, and I'm going to grab my stamp, and it's a photopolymer stamp, so I've already attached it to a clear block. You can see this arrow here. That's the arrow that matches up with the die, and it just helps you to line things up and make sure you get them right. And I'm going to use Versamark, and I love this technique because you can cut a whole bunch of the dies in all different colors. And then what I'm going to do, and I don't know if my head's going to get in the way, but I hope it doesn't, but I'm going to just line this up because I can see through. I can line that up with that stamp, or with that die cut. And I'm just using Versamark. Sorry about that. But I used Versamark so you can see what it does is it just makes the stamped image a shade darker on your card. You probably can't see it so well on here, but believe me, it is there. So any color that you want to use for your hydrangeas, you can ink them all up using the Versamark. Now there is a way to line that stamp up with the die, and I will show you. When you line up your stamp with the die, if you've already stamped it and then you want to line it up, you're going to line it up with that arrow facing the same way as your stamp was facing. So this would be up. You'd line it up that way. And then in all of these little spots, you will see stamped images that you'll be able to line up your die. It's really easy. I was really surprised at how easy that was. But so there's that. But then you can start to see that as this dries, they get a little bit darker and your leaves show up, and they're beautiful. So pretty simple. The other thing I did is I cut out a tree trunk. And the last thing that I need to do is I need to cut out a couple of birds. So I'm going to come in with a little scrap of white here. And my espresso ink. And my birds. And I just put the birds on the same block, stamp them down. I'm going to go ahead and cut those out with a die too, because they each have a die for them. So they're going different ways. So I will be right back. Okay, I come up with a couple of little birds that I cut out, and then I also had a stem for my tree. It's amazing. Oh, it's underneath there. There you go. Anyway, I'll bring in my piece of cardstock here. I'm going to go ahead and just put down my tree trunk. Use a font. Ooh, better not do it upside down. I like this font because some of it is straight font and some of it is fancy writing, and I just think it looks really cool. And then on this one, I'm going to go ahead and add Winkostella to the flower. And I'm just brushing this all over it to give it, just gives it a nice shimmer. And again, I'm not sure if you can see that, but the shimmer in it is beautiful. I'll try to take a close-up picture on my website so you can actually see the shimmer of that Winkostella. And then I came in with a gel pen, and I am actually just drawing in some insides of these flowers, kind of randomly. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm going to come in with my fine tip glue pen, and I love this because you just get a little bit. I think I need to, there we go. You don't want to squeeze real hard because you just want it to just come out just slightly. And I'm just adding some glue around this flower top, tree top. And then I'm going to add that on. See how this is building up. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some of our one of the great new products that we have in the Stampin' Up! Catalog are these strips of adhesive. They are great for pop-up cards, but I also like them because you can cut your dimensionals to any size that you want. And I'm just going to take these few, flip this over, and then I'm just going to add these kind of randomly around here. I don't need a ton, because I just want to make sure that it sticks and that it has some dimension. That's all it's really meant for. And then I'm going to pull them off, which sometimes is easier said than done. There we go. And then one of the things that I do when I do this is I'm just gonna flip it over, and then what happens is your tree has a little bit more dimension to it, those two layers. And I just like it looks really cool. I like the look of it. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my birds over here and just add a little bit of adhesive. And add my birds onto my card. And again, like I said, any color works. One of the things you want to remember about this fine tip glue is make sure you get that lid back on so that your hole doesn't get glued shut. And then I'm going to come in with my cardstock. I'll fold my base in half. Add the adhesive. Attach that onto my base. And then you've got just a really quick, easy, cute, fun card. A little bit of dimension. Like I said, I did them in pink, and then you can do flowers also just to add to it. But I love how the dimension is of those two pieces together. It works great too with just the tree. This one has two and this one only has one. You can see the difference. There's a lot more white space with this one, but I love them both. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you would like to, you can visit my website. Sign up for my newsletter where I give out tips, tricks, and techniques each week. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day.